We have a question from Stefan. He says this: I'm 54 years old and started exercising with kettlebells in 2020. Relatively new trainer, but let's go. I stick to a very basic routine of swings, goblet squats, get-ups, and press variations, guided mostly by your tutorials on Dan John University and your books on the subject. Hardstyle Kettlebell Challenge is a great read. Yeah, that's available at Amazon if you're interested. The downside, of course, of Amazon is that the authors don't get paid well, but that's where it is, so good luck to you. I like this, and I don't... what I'd love to see right now, Stefan, is for you to say, and gosh, Dan, thanks for everything you've done. I'm going to continue on this track, and I love it. But no one ever says that. Instead, since this is working well, let's mess it up, and you do something interesting here. Recently, I stumbled upon an exercise called the squat swing on YouTube and other social media sites. I then reread the HKC Hardstyle Kettlebell Challenge book, available on Amazon. My grandsons need a college education, so please buy them. Specifically the section on the hip displacement continuum, and said to myself, I am never doing this squat swing. Stefan, that brings absolute joy to my ears. Don't do an exercise that somebody on Instagram or YouTube just decided on a whim one day, I'm going to invent an exercise. Before I ever share an exercise or even training idea with any of you, the first thing I do is I do it. And I do a lot of them. And I test it on myself. Then I test it on a specific group of people. It'd be funny for me to say a specific group of people I don't like, but that's not true. And we test things out and we get a sense of things. And if, like when we did this one training program and we all ended up injured, I sit back and say, I can't recommend that. If on the other hand, like Mass Made Simple, also available on Amazon and on Target Publications, the results were so good, I wouldn't say, the word literally always comes up, but I had that book written and finished faster than any book I've ever written in my life, because the results from the Mass Made Simple program were so amazing, I wanted to share it. And people keep telling me about their success. But here we go. The one difference I can see that in the squat swing that I viewed, the squat portion occurs in what is supposed to be the plank position, where in your book, the squat occurs when the bell is tossed between the legs. Okay, Stefan put asterisks on squat. In the kettlebell swing, the position is called a hinge. At least that's the term I came up with. So it's hinge, plank, hinge, plank, hinge, plank. And that's the way you do a kettlebell swing. Either way, the risk of injury appears to be the same. Am I correct? Hi, I'm Dan John, and I would like to talk about the squat swing kettlebell exercise. Now, there is an exercise we used to do at the certs 14, 15 years ago that was called the bootstrapper squat. And frankly, I still think it's a great exercise. You drop yourself into the bottom of the goblet squat, and then all you do, you're sitting with your elbows pushing your knees out. In that position, you push your butt back into a hinge and then slide back into the squat. There's no ballistic to it. And I got to tell you one thing. For my hurdlers, my sprinters, my American football players, and my soccer players, they would tell me that this made them feel very good after playing their sport, long bus ride, long road trip. It really made them feel good. And I'm going to say in the hamstrings, because that's where they would show, but really it's that whole area from probably your calves. Remember, your hamstrings insert underneath the calf muscles. From your calves all the way up to probably your mid-back, it's just a nice, easy stretch. So there is value to that bootstrapper squat. But in this ballistic style, I just cannot. And what are you trying to get out of it? Just more work? If you want more work, just do a bunch of jumping jacks. Run up a hill. Run up, run up K2 or Mount Everest or something if you want more work. You have to be able to defend why you're doing an exercise. And just because it's fun or, ooh, we're going to do this Jane Fonda nonsense out of, go for the burn. Just because you're going for the burn doesn't mean it's a good thing, okay? I can't thank you enough, Stefan, for this question. First off, you did something I like a lot. And a gentle listener, I want you to hear what he said. I'm 54 years old, and I started exercising with kettlebells in 2020. He does swings, goblet squats, get-ups, and press variation. And he focuses on them based on the Dan John University tutorials and a book, Hardstyle Kettlebell Challenge. Great. It's all my material. So obviously, yay for me and yay for you. But what I like about what he did here is he has a foundation. He's only been doing lifting for a couple of years, but he has a foundation, and that foundation, that lens guides him. So when he sees an exercise done by these influencers or these YouTubers or whatever, he stops, he sees this, he puts it back in his lens, and he goes, that doesn't seem right. Let me ask somebody who knows what's going on. And am I a perfect choice? Not necessarily. I mean, I think anybody who's truly certified as a kettlebell instructor would look at that exercise and go, well, I mean, you can, and here's the thing, you can do anything you want, but do you want to do anything you want that's going to hurt you long term? When you do some of the workouts you saw in the HKC book or at DJU, there's workouts where there are swings and goblet squats and push-ups. The humane burpee is a great example. You do 15 swings, you do 5 goblet squats, you do 5 push-ups. You do 15 swings, 4 goblet squats, 4 push-ups. You know where this is going. 15-3-3, 15-2-2, 15-1-1, and done. That's 75 swings, 15 goblet squats, 15 push-ups. That's a pretty good little workout for you. And the nice thing is you have time to correct. You have time to fix things. If you feel something kind of barking at you in the middle of those swings, you can put the load down and say, okay, that was okay. Check things out. You do the goblet squats, that makes it feel better. You do the push-ups, that makes you, tired. You pop back up and you keep going. But if you do an exercise that has any kind of some built-in danger, and there's a lot of exercises with that. I mean, the number of injuries I've seen, there's kettlebell exercises that we teach at the RKC too. I wouldn't say I've ever, done correctly, I've never seen anyone get hurt in a windmill, especially if we build up to it appropriately. But I can see someone getting hurt doing the bent press. Maybe not. Yeah, there's a load up there. I have seen people, and I've had people come to my gym who've got hurt doing over way too heavy Turkish get-ups. In my case, I've missed lifts and gotten injured, Olympic lifting. So, there is a risk when you train. However, if you follow what you're doing, Stefan, where you're doing the goblet squat, the swing, the Turkish get-up variations, and the press variations, you're going to be in that safety zone. And especially at your age, Stefan, you just don't want to get hurt. And by the way, 54, you're a child. I'm decades older than you. But there is no good reason for you now to do anything at your age. You need to focus on, hypertrophy, and that's your press and your squat work. Your cardiovascular stuff, and that'd be your swing. Well, all the exercises you mentioned could be cardiovascular. Your mobility, and you'll see that with the goblet squat and the get-up. You're doing the things you need to do at your age appropriately. You're going to notice that if you do get hurt doing something you saw online, you won't recover like you did just even a decade ago. And that's something I want to kind of warn you about. I think your question is outstanding, and I hope that helped. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.